Hello student, welcome back to my channel. So today we will discuss here about the next topics of unit electrostatics. The topics which I will discuss with you today is about first is area vector, second is electric flux, and third is Gauss theorem. So to understand Gauss theorem, we have to understand first about the electric flux and area vector. So first I will start this lecture by the definition of area vector and what it is. So here the topic is area vector. As student, we know that here area is a scalar quantity, but here when we talk about the area vector, so for conventionally we will treat as a vector quantity. Here the area we will treat as a vector quantity. So as we know that, let me start some statement about this. So as we know that area is a scalar quantity, but for some calculation or some problem, calculations or problem, we treat it as a vector, and to treat area as a vector quantity, we will divide the given surface area into small elementary areas, and for it we divided the given area into small elementary areas known as area element. Means that here when we talk about the area vector, suppose we have an area like this. This is a closed surface area S supposed to be, and here we are searching or we are finding about the area vector. If we want to treat as an area vector, so we will divide it in small area element like this, irregular in shape. So when we divided small type of area element, so their orientation, after that distribution we will think about the orientation of these elements. So orientation of these elements is in its normal, means in normal to its surface, you can say in normal to its surface. If we talk about the orientation, means that the direction. So the direction or orientation is, as we know that, the normal to the surface. So we have two type of normal. Suppose here we have an elementary surface ds. So normal of this surface either vertically in upward direction or vertically in downward direction. So the direction or orientation of the of these element in its normal. So this may be perpendicularly inward or outward directions. It depends on it, but for conventionally, or you can say, but for convention, its direction is taken as perpendicularly in outward direction. Got it? So this direction is the direction of area vector, and if ds supposed to be here, if we have a full surface, enclosed surface is S, inside this surface I am taking an elementary area supposed to be this one, having surface magnitude of surface area ds. So for that, if I want to represent here about the area vector, so we will represent this area vector. Let's see how we will represent it. If ds is the magnitude of the area element, then area vector of this of ds or this element is written as ds vector. We will represent the area vector for this elementary area is ds vector is equals to ds into n cap. Means here ds into n cap means that the magnitude of value with their unit normal vector. As we know that the representation of any vector can be written as like this. So in that case we will write the area vector with this formula. So here n cap is known as unit normal vector, and we know that where is the direction of unit normal vector, which is normally or perpendicularly in outward direction. So after that we will talk here about the next topic. So to understand it, first I am revising the fact. As we know that the area is a scalar quantity, but for conventionally we will treat this area as a vector quantity. So for it we will divide the given surface area into small area element, so that the orientation of these elements is normally to the direction or normal to the area element. Now when we talk about the normal, supposed to be this is our area element, and when we are saying the orientation is either normal to this area element, so it may be vertically upward direction, it may be vertically in downward direction, but for conventionally we will take a single direction or one directional which is normally in outward direction. So that direction is the direction of area vector. So we can represent the area vector for the given elementary area is ds is equals to ds into n cap. So this one will be the discussion about the area vector. After that we will talk here about the electric flux, in which the contribution of area vector you will see where it is and how we will write the electric flux formula with the help of electric field and area vector. So for that, pause the video and note down. So after the study about the area vector, we will talk here about the next topic, which is our electric flux. So in previous topic, as I discussed in front of you about the area vector, and you know the formula of area vector now, ds is equals to ds of n cap. Got it? And where is the direction of area vector, which is vertically in upward direction. So if I suppose to be consider a surface S, again I am trying to explain in front of you once again. See, if it is S is the given surface area, so here in this surface area I have considered the given area element ds, and you know the area vector, when we talk here about the area vector, it is vertically in upward direction. So this vertical upward direction is the direction of n cap, unit normal vector. By convention we know that the direction is vertically outward direction, not inward direction. So this time, this is the direction of our area vector, which is represented by ds of n cap. Got it? So this one will be the direction, or you can show this elementary surface separately also. Supposed to be this is our elementary surface in large way, and this is the direction of area vector, which is equals to ds n cap. Got it? So you can show the value of this area vector with the help of diagram like this. Now after that we talk here about the electric flux. What is the meaning of electric flux? And student, the electric flux is represented by this symbol phi e. Got it? E means electric, phi is for flux. So electric flux, and after that in magnetism you will see about the phi b, which is called your magnetic flux. Okay, so when we talk here about the electric flux is nothing, it is an electric field lines. It is an electric field lines, or you may define as the electric flux is the total number of electric field lines which passes through the cross section area, or you can say which passes through over and surface area placed normal to the placed on in the electric field and normal to it. Got it? Means the electric field lines are the electric, we can explain this electric flux, the electric field lines. Simple definition, the electric field lines passes through the given surface normally, okay, in an electric field placed in an electric field E is called the electric flux. It is a scalar quantity because here it is representing us the number of electric field lines. Okay, so the number of electric field lines, the number of, we can write this one in proper way, total number of electric field lines is called electric flux. It is a scalar quantity and represented by, see, before representing it, I will draw the diagram of electric field first. So student, listen here and see, this is our electric field direction, which is you can see here, and in this field I have placed a surface over which the electric field lines will pass. So this is our electric, this is our surface in which these lines are passing. These are the lines, means as we know that the electric field lines represent the strength of electric field at any point in which we are discussing. So these electric field lines passes through the surface, which is here supposed to be ABCD normally. So the electric field lines which passes through the given surface normally is known as electric flux. Got it? So when we want to show the formula of electric flux, how we will represent the electric flux here. So we will divide first this given surface once again in small elementary part. Supposed to be this is our elementary part of the given surface, and in another diagram I will represent this elementary part in big form, like this, supposed to be this one. Got it? And the electric field lines are passes through it normally, and its surface area, we know that ds, and we know that when this is our given elementary surface and it is placed in given electric field, then normal of this surface represent us about the electric represent us about the area vector, not electric. Got it? So here ds is the given surface and we don't know it is normal to the given electric field or parallel to the given electric field or at an angle to the given electric field. But here I am considering this plane is placed as I am saying normally in the given statement, because in normal condition we will obtain maximum number of electric field lines which passes through the given surface. So here in definition the given surface is normal to the electric field, means that you can say if the electric field lines are like that, means that these are the electric field lines and the given surface is placed normal to it. So the maximum number of electric field lines will means that intersect or penetrate the given surface so that it passes through it. So if I turn it in different angle, then we will see at a particular angle which is here parallel to the given electric field, in which the electric field lines which passes through it or penetrate through the given surface is comparatively very less, or you can say negligible as compared to the normal condition. So we will discuss here different conditions, means parallel conditions, parallel condition of the given surface with respect to it, normal condition and at an angle condition, so that we will obtain a formula or a derivation, means different case. So here in this case we have an elementary area which is placed in the given electric field, and we are calculating here the electric flux. So by definition the electric flux is the number of electric field lines which passes through the given surface normally placed in given electric field, means that here the surface is placed in the given electric field but the electric field lines always passes through it normally. Got it? So here in this condition, if I will see the first condition, when the given surface is placed normal to the electric field from the statement, we will see if the surface, once again I am repeating, if the surface is, listen student, if the surface is normal, supposed to be this is our surface, if surface is normal to the electric field, that time what we will observe? We will observe here the area vector. Listen, see once again, if it is our surface and this surface is placed normal to, this is our electric field direction which is normal to the given surface. So when we talk about the area vector of this surface, it will be where? It will be normal to the given surface, means it will be like that. And if we are thinking about the electric field lines which are passing through it vertically in outward direction, and in second case we are thinking about the area vector with respect to this surface, it will also vertically outward direction, means that here this electric field is normal to the electric field, this electric field line is normal to the given surface, means the surface in which we are calculating the electric flux placed normal to the given electric field, but here the area vector of this surface will be also normal to it according to the definition of area vector. Now finally we will observe the direction of electric field and the direction of area vector is same. So it represents us the number of electric field lines will be maximum, because the angle between them is very less, which means that 0, so that the cos 0 is equals to 1. We will discuss later on. So initially you have to understand here, when we place a surface normal to the electric field, it means that the area vector of this field, which is here, this one, is parallel to the electric field. Got it? So this is the condition to understand the topic. So here we will get the area vector which is parallel to this. So electric field and area vector are same in direction when the surface is normal to the given electric field. So it is represented by, because here we are talking about elementary area ds, so I will write first the electric for an element. It is represented by, for an elementary area, it is represented by d phi e. For it, d phi e is equals to electric field, means dot product of electric field, we will write like that, and the area vector. It is represented by dot product, we can add one thing, dot product of, means we will write this thing later on. It is represented by, for an elementary area, dE is equals to this, means dot product of an electric field E and area vector, elementary area vector ds. Got it? So this dot product, you know that it is represented by EDS cos theta. Got it? So this is the electric flux for the given elementary surface. Now after that we can think about the total electric flux. As we know that this surface, when we talk here about the area vector, so we can say that this surface is made up of by small area element. So if we talk about here the total electric flux enclosed, which passes through this surface S enclosed by volume B, is how we will write. So see here, I can start this statement. Therefore total electric flux over the surface S enclosed by volume V, okay, is given by, see here, it is phi e, is given by surface integral of the dot product of E and the area element, or given by the surface integral, you can say surface integral of the electric flux of the elementary, we can add elementary electric flux, means that we are writing this value like this, which is equal to this. Got it? So in next step I will write like this, because the value of d phi e is equal to E dot ds. So this is the formula for the electric flux, total electric flux. Got it? Now if we thought now if we think about the different cases See here. So the electric flux at any point, you can see the diagram. The electric flux means the number of electric field lines passes through the given surface area. So kindly note this point, the electric flux at any point in electric field shows the strength of electric field at that point. Got it? First point. And the second point is about the condition when it will be maximum, it will be minimum. So if we can say second condition, if the surface is normal to the electric field, means if the surface is placed perpendicular to the electric field E, then I am writing here, then ds vector means normal to, if the surface is S, then ds vector is parallel to E. It means theta is equals to 0 degree between them. So d phi E, if I will think about it, d phi E is equals to, from this formula, E dot ds, in next step EDS, it is in magnitude, EDS cos 0 degree, which give us EDS value, means d phi E is equals to EDS. So that time, if we think about the total electric flux, lower point is visible. So if we think about the total electric flux in this condition, so see student, what it comes. Therefore the total electric flux over the surface S enclosed by volume V is given by surface integral of, as we have here, E dot ds vector, and we know that E dot ds vector is equal to EDS, and we know that E as a constant we are taking outside, in surface integral of ds is written as total surface. I am representing by S, means this is our total surface S, which is divided into small elementary surface ds. So the integral of this, surface integral of this, is equal to S. So I will write E dot S. In some books, if you will represent the area by A, then the formula will be phi E is equals to E into A. Not to worry about S is area or A is area, you can represent by S or by A. Now I show this relation because we want to know about the SI unit and also the dimension formula of electric flux. So kindly note down this formula or this result, note it, it is very helpful for you. So after that I will continue the topic, so pause the video and note down. Now see, after that student, we will talk here about see the next condition, phi is equals to EA we have here. After that we will talk here about the SI unit first, if you want to show, because here the formula is ready, so we can easily identify the relation SI unit of it, SI unit of electric flux, as we know that it is a scalar quantity, so what it has some SI unit. So from where you will calculate it? From this relation, by relation phi E is equals to E into A, and we know that the SI unit of E is Newton per coulomb, because E is equals to, make relation fast so that you can easily link out the things from one formula to another formula. E is equals to F upon Q, we know that. So Newton per coulomb, and here meter square, so it will be Newton meter square per coulomb. And after that, if we want to represent the dimension formula, no need to remember, you have to calculate the things. Dimensional formula, what it will be? Dimension formula is Newton MLT minus 2, and this one L square, and this one AT, what it will be? M L cube T minus 2 minus 3 and A minus 1. Kindly check out this M L cube T minus 3A minus 1. Yes, this one is the SI unit and dimension formula of electric flux, which is a scalar quantity. Now the second case, note 2, if the surface which we are taking here in first condition normal to the electric field, if the surface is parallel to the electric field E. See, in first condition in which I have put the surface perpendicular to the field in which I get the value of electric flux is this, so it has maximum value, means that we can add one thing star, maximum number of electric field lines passes through it, passes through the surface, as I have shown you when I put this surface perpendicular to it, maximum number of lines. So here if the surface is parallel to the electric field, means that we can say the electric field, it is in 3-dimensional, so electric field is here, and if I put the surface along it, so that time this part will crossed by the electric field. This is our what? This is our parallel to the electric field. Now here if I will show the direction of area vector, you will easily understand this is parallel to the field. Here the area vector direction and the electric field direction is normal, 90-degree angle between them. So if the surface is parallel to the electric field, then ds vector is perpendicular to electric field, then the ds vector will be perpendicular to the electric field. So d phi E, which is our electric flux regarding this elementary area, d phi E is equals to E dot ds, in next step EDS cos 90, and you know that this cos 90 is equal to 0, so the electric flux regarding this elementary surface is 0, so therefore total electric flux will be what it is, phi E is equals to surface integral d phi E, which is equals to d phi E value is 0, so here I will put the value of it 0. Got it? So it means that no electric field lines passes through it. Means that in MCQ, when the question asks about when will the maximum number of electric field lines passes through the given surface placed in electric field. Options are when the surface is normal to the given electric field, when the surface is perpendicular to the given parallel to the given electric field, or both of them, or none of them. Okay, so you will opt one option by understanding these two topics. Got it? Now third condition, when the surface is placed at an angle theta with respect to the given electric field. So for this condition, I will take a surface first here. This is our surface S, and I will show the electric field lines for this surface in this way, in which you can show theta angle, or you may change the diagram according to yourself. So this is the direction of electric field, and at this point, if I will show you, at this point if I will show you the direction of area vector, which is here supposed to be ds vector, and this is our area vector, and you can see here the direction angle between them is theta. So for this condition, if I will show the value of electric flux, third condition, if the surface is at an angle theta with respect to electric field, means when the surface is placed at an angle theta, so that time the electric flux passes through it. Here I can consider the elementary surface first. So d phi e is equals to, student, E dot ds, we have this relation, and we have an angle theta, so this dot product can be written as E ds cos theta. Got it? So this is the value of electric flux, and therefore total electric flux passes through the given surface area or over to the given surface area S enclosed by volume V. Can say that the surface integral of d phi e, which is equals to E dot ds, means surface integral of dot product of electric field and area vector. Okay, so after that you can see or write this relation E ds cos theta. Also you can opt any one, like or this, means this relation very famous, means you can learn it. So this is the basic information about the electric flux. Okay, so after that we will think about the electric flux. If we think about the electric flux here, when it will be maximum, when it will be minimum, so you have to think about the two things. First, about the surface area. Surface area means about the surface. Okay, and second is area vector, means if the surface is normal, area vector is parallel. If the surface is parallel, area vector is normal, because area vector is always perpendicularly outward to the given surface. So that is a little bit understanding point, so that you can easily understand the statement or headings which I have written in front of you. So after that I will discuss Gauss law, Gauss theorem, which is totally depend on area vector and the integral form of this, which is here dot product of electric field and area vector. Okay, so let's start the next topic, Gauss theorem. So for that, pause the video and note down. Now see student, the next heading is Gauss theorem. So before Gauss theorem, you have to understand much more about the electric flux and the area vector. So here, as we know that the electric flux is surface integral of electric field. Means the electric flux is the surface integral of electric field over the surface S enclosed by the volume V. Okay, so here I will take the statement to explain the Gauss theorem. See here, we can express the Gauss theorem in two ways. Either you can explain it by the electric flux directly, or you can explain it by the surface integral definition. So see here, I will write the electric flux, Gauss theorem. Before understanding the Gauss theorem, first I want to explain once again the electric field. This electric field is generated by the charge. Listen carefully, this will not create by itself, it will generate by charge. Means this electric field is produced by a charge which is placed in the surface or inside the surface S, for which we are calculating here the Gauss theorem, or for which we are calculating what? The electric flux. So we can continue our statement with the help of these key points. The electric means the Gauss theorem may be explained as the surface integral of electric field produced by the surface, produced by the charge inside the surface S. The surface integral of electric field produced by the charge inside the surface S, over the surface S enclosed by volume V is equals to 1, and we can add one thing, in vacuum is equal to 1 over epsilon naught times of the total charge inside the surface S. Means here we can consider this supposed to be, I have a closed surface S here, got it, and inside it supposed to be at this point I have placed a charge Q. In this Gauss theorem I will prove, or I will find the value of electric flux at any point on this surface, as this surface is imaginary, so this surface is known as Gaussian surface. So I will calculate the electric flux at this point, means I will prove here the value of Gauss theorem, which is phi is equals to 1 over 4 q over epsilon naught at this point. So see here, let me first complete the statement, after that I will prove. So it is means that here he said about, supposed to be this is our S surface, and inside this surface plus q charge is placed, and we know that if charge is placed here, so the electric field lines will move out. So this electric field is due to this plus q charge. That's why he said the surface integral of electric field by this produced by this charge in the surface S enclosed by the volume V, because if it is a surface, the given means that here we have a surface, so it means it will contain also some volume, so which is here in B. So that time the surface integral of electric field over the surface S enclosed by the volume V is equal to 1 over epsilon naught times of the total charge, which I am considering here Q. This one is the Gauss theorem statement. Got it? So some cases you can express the statement like this also: total electric flux enclosed the volume V over the surface S is equal to 1 over epsilon naught times of the total charge placed on the given surface or inside the surface. You can express this statement like this also. So here let we start the statement. After that, this point is clear. Now see, if I am completing this, if Q be the total charge inside the surface S, okay, then by definition in vacuum, then by the definition we can say phi E is equals to surface integral of electric field is equals to 1 over epsilon naught times of the total charge placed on it, means it is equals to this, or you can express it by EDS is equal to Q over epsilon naught. These two values are same, student, because from the definition of electric flux you know about the value of surface integral of electric field, which is EDS is equals to phi E. So in place of surface integral of electric field you can say the electric flux only. Okay, so you can write here this statement like this, or total electric flux over the surface S enclosed by volume V is equals to, remaining all thing same. Got it? So this is one more definition of our Gauss theorem. And after the Gauss theorem, here the surface which I considering is known as Gaussian surface. You can add one thing, note one thing, the surface which we are considering to prove Gauss theorem, or the electric field also later on, to prove or considering is known as, it is an imaginary surface known as Gaussian surface. Okay, it may be spherical, it may be cylindrical, so it depends on the conditions or cases where we are considering the Gaussian surface. Spherical Gaussian surface we will consider to prove this law, okay, this theorem. So for that, pause the video and note down. So after that we will start here proof of Gauss theorem, which is equals to this with the help of this diagram which is in front of you. So for that, pause the video and note down. Now you can see, student, this is the diagram to prove the Gauss theorem, for which I will consider a spherical Gaussian surface in which plus q charge is placed at its center, and on its circumference at any point P, we will calculate the electric flux. Okay, and we know that it is a point charge, so the electric field lines will move out or perpendicular to the given surface. From the previous discussion we know it very well. So the radius of it is r, and here if I will represent the position vector of r is r cap, which is normally in outward direction, and we know that here this is our positive charge, and at point P when we calculate the electric field direction, so it will also in this way. Got it? And as we are considering here an elementary surface ds, so for this ds, if I will show you the direction of position vector, no sorry, area vector, which is here ds vector also. Got it? So let us complete the statement which I will write here, and for it I will write, let us consider a spherical Gaussian surface of radius small r, in which or inside it, we can say inside it, or we can let us consider, let's repeat the statement, let us consider a point charge plus q around the charge a Gaussian surface of radius small r is drawn in its electric field. Means in its electric field at any distance r from it, we will consider a Gaussian surface. Okay, so therefore in this surface we will consider an elementary surface S. Let P be any point on the elementary area of the surface. So ds elementary area we can write like by this, on surface S we have here. So here we can write area vector, therefore area vector ds is equals to, we know that ds of n cap, and n cap is the normal unit vector whose direction is perpendicularly in outward direction, same. Okay, so therefore we are calculating here electric flux. So first we know that the electric flux is surface integral of EDS phi E. We are calculating. With the help of this we will prove the relation Q over epsilon naught is equals to phi E. Got it? This is the final conclusion of the calculation. So first I will write here electric field at P due to plus Q charge. What it will be? See here in vector form I am writing 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q over r square of r cap, equation number 1. Now equation number 1 is here, this is supposed to be second. Now by Gauss theorem we know that phi E is equals to, or we can say here the electric flux first. Therefore electric flux phi E is equals to surface integral of E ds. Got it, student? It is E dot ds. Now in next one you will substitute the value of E 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q over r square into r cap along with this ds vector, which is equal to, see here, ds of n cap. So this is a dot product, this one is also, so this ds will come out, and after that we will write the next one, next part of this derivation. See here, phi e is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught will come out, q over r square also, and here this value in surface integral ds in bracket r cap dot n cap. Got it? So this is the value, and student, we know that here, listen carefully, r dot or n dot, they both are unit normal vector, means that if these are unit normal vector, their magnitude is 1, means that the dot product of these two I will write mod of this into cos theta, and the angle between them is 0 degree, because r cap or n cap both have same direction, so it will be cos 0 degree. Unit normal vector they are, so that's why it is equals to 1, it is equals to 1, it will also equals to 1, so it is equals to finally 1. So in place of r dot n you can use 1, so it will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q over r square surface integral of ds, it will is equal to 1, so this is equals to phi e. Got it, student? So now when we think about the integral of this elementary area, it is equals to the surface area of this sphere. So integral means total surface area of the sphere, which is equals to 4 pi r square. So this is the meaning of surface integral of ds. So phi e is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q over r square. In place of this you will put this value, 4 pi to 4 pi cancel, r square to r square, phi e is equals to q over epsilon naught. So this is your final result, which is the proof of Gauss theorem. Got it? So this is the proof of Gauss theorem. This is the proof of Gauss theorem, and some points are here. See the position here, phi e does not depend on the position of charge inside the sphere. So you can see the electric flux does not depends on the position of charge inside the surface. Okay, the electric flux over the surface S does not depend on the position of this. Got it? So this is the derivation of the Gauss theorem with the help of the definition and basic information about the electric flux and the area vector. So to understand the whole video topics, you have to watch this video in parts, because this video length is more than 50 minutes, so you can see this video by part. Okay, student? So we can add one more thing, kindly note it. If we have a medium, of dielectric constant K, if we think about the medium of dielectric constant K, then as we know that in case of vacuum the formula is Q over epsilon naught, but in case of any medium we are thinking, then that time this formula will be Q over epsilon. Okay, so in place of epsilon we know that we can write epsilon naught of K. So the formula of it is epsilon naught of K. And one more point, numerical MCQ point is, so the charge in Gauss theorem, the charge may be point charge or continuous distribution of charge to calculate the electric flux over the surfaces enclosed by the volume V. First is this, and second is the position of charge does not matter here to calculate the electric flux. Got it? So the continuous distribution of charge, we will discuss application when we talk here about the application of Gauss theorem. So then we will think about cylindrical Gaussian surface in which the uniform distribution of charge is there. So that's why, so here it is depend on if the medium is different, so it depends on the value of K. So on the basis of this you can easily compare these two also, what it will happen, the electric flux will be increases or decreases if the medium is replaced by the dielectric constant K with respect to vacuum. Means if we change the medium of dielectric constant K with respect to vacuum, then we will see what will be the change in electric flux. Okay, with the help of the comparison of these two. So okay student, thank you very much.